CJ Stroud and DeMeco Ryans speak heading into the game against the Jets, which initially came out as a large spread. The spread is shrinking. Is something strange going on? And could the Texans be in store for a perfect yet unperfect storm? Let's go inside the locker room.
Yeah. It's the locker room on YouTube. You know what it is. Let's get it. Hey.
Strange stuff going on with the Texans heading into their matchup against the Jets. It is the locker room, number one source for Texans daily digital content. I'm Landry Locker. You can hear me Monday through Friday, 10 to 2 Central, Sports Radio 610, and the Odyssey app. A little later today, going to be joined by a Texans player straight off the practice field, as we are every single week. Be sure to subscribe, like, ride along. It's the best place to get the pulse of what's going on with the Houston Texans, who got an interesting matchup with the Jets this week. We'll hear from CJ Stroud. We'll hear from DeMeco Ryans. But let's follow the money for a second. First of all, the big news, Zach Wilson will start for the Jets. All the drama, all the reports. Does he want to play? Does he not want to play? Tim Boyle released. Zach Wilson, he spoke. He said he wants to go. He said he's ready to go. And he is going to be the starting quarterback for the Jets after being put in timeout for a couple of weeks. So following the money here, this is where it gets kind of interesting. And this has happened a couple of times with the Texans. This happened week 3, I think it was, against Jacksonville, where the Texans, it was the complete opposite. Jacksonville started out as a 6.5-point favorite. The line dropped to 3.5 or 4. And we saw what happened. We said, is something strange going on? And the Texans ended up going there and just kicking their ass early on in the season. So sometimes when you see these types of jumps, it's alarming and it's something to keep an eye on. And that's what's happening. But this time it's in the opposite direction. The betting line has dropped from 6.5, Texans minus 6.5 to Texans minus 4. And could there be a perfect storm for the Jets? The Jets are a really good defense. They're a really physical defense. They've played in 7 one-possession games. They got a good pass defense. The Texans are a team that can't run the ball, and they seem dependent on the pass. Could this be a perfect storm? Following the money, are things getting weird here? It is something to keep an eye on because we've seen this trend, and we saw it the other way in which it worked for the Texans. We'll hear from DeMeco Ryans, but what do you think? Do you think something strange is going on here? I'll be honest. I anticipate this game. I think it's going to be one extreme or another. I think the Texans either win this game relatively handily, or the Jets win a close game. That's just how I'm feeling. Now, my feeling's not always right. If you follow this channel, you know this. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. But I think this is either a complete dumpster fire for the Jets type of situation where the boo birds are out throughout, or I think they win a close game against the Texans and we're pissed off on Monday. That's just where I'm at. Although the Texans have proven us wrong, or proven me wrong, I should say. I don't want to speak for you. They've proven me wrong many times. I'm very nervous about this ball game. The weather, haven't been on the road in a month, the inability to run the ball, etc. But the one thing the Texans do have, and it's the most important advantage you can have in this sport, is the quarterback advantage. Let's hear from CJ Stroud talking about that.
Jets is they have a great defense. It starts up front with Quentin Williams, he's a problem. He's a really good player. Then on the edge, Johnson is a great player, Jermaine Johnson. Of course, Sauce and Reed stick out. The safeties do a great job, and then of course their 2 linebackers are playing at a Pro Bowl level and playing really well. So definitely we got to be on our A game, execute at a high level. And there are some similarities. I know that Saleh and DeMeco work together, so our defense runs the same type of style, but some differences in some areas. So just got to be on our A game.
What is the benefit of that, of having a little bit of intel and familiarity, at least with the concepts and the things that they're trying to accomplish? Are y'all able to kind of use that to your advantage?
Yeah, you use it a little bit, but you don't want to get caught up in trying to perfect something. I feel like there's been times where you do that and then you go out there and they run a whole different defense, so we got to just do what we do best and execute our things, get the looks and the reads and scout team and stuff like that. But we got to do what we do best at a high level, and not really focus on them. Of course, we got to be able to handle everything that they're doing, but don't really want to focus too much on what they have going on.
CJ, I know you're focused on your team.
CJ, second in Pro Bowl voting. Christy Reekin, Associated Press, asking him about that. A lot of you can't hear the questions. That's this question about being second in Pro Bowl voting.
That's cool. Yeah, I think it's pretty cool to get recognition from people on some of the special things that we've done as a team. And it's a blessing to hopefully, like, of course, that was a goal of mine, to be a Pro Bowler and to be at the top of my game at this point. And I just, like I always tell y'all, 1 week to love you, 1 week to hate you. So I got to just keep going and just stay steadfast, stay my head down, working. And that's what I plan to do. But no, it's super dope, and I appreciate that. And the biggest thing for me as a player is like getting the respect on the other side of the field, on other teams. And for now, like every game I get after the game, I always get a lot of good feedback and just advice and stuff, and a lot of respect. And I give a lot of respect back out on guys you play in this league. So it's been pretty cool. I appreciate that.
CJ, y'all are top 3 in the NFL in most wins in one score game. I'm curious about, I guess how freeing it is for like the entire team to be confident.
Talking about focusing on the details and winning games.
So how freeing is that for you all to have confidence in general as a team?
Yeah, I mean, DeMeco always talks about just being on the details of things, and we put ourselves in bad situations when that happens, and when we're not on details and things like that. So it's been really, our focus now is like, let's play a 4-quarter game. We haven't played one yet. We played either great in the first half or great in the second half, and it's been switched. Like offense does good one half, defense does good, and we flip-flop. Like it's not good football. It's not championship level football. So we got to be better when it comes to that, and we want to take that next step now. I think it's about time for that. So it starts at practice, and it's cool though. I mean, like, to honestly, like, it's hard to win as is. Like, we can talk about whatever you want to talk about, close games or not. Like, if you win, like, it's tough to do. So definitely got to be grateful for that and enjoy the wins. But you have to be real with yourself and fix the issues. So that's what we've been doing.
But CJ talking about the thick Bobby Slowick playbook, the Bible, as he called it. Has he mastered it yet? At this point in his career.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby has come in with a system of what the West Coast offense on what he did in San Fran mostly, and put his own twist to things as well. And he's done a great job of communication and installs and things like that to make it really, really learnable and for us to really put into our own game. And it's been a work in progress. And I think, as you've seen, like, we're not the same team we were week 1 or week 2 and week 3. Like, we progressed every week in his offense and stuff like that. And it's not just his, made it ours, our offense as a whole. So, yeah, it's been cool, man. And I've definitely grown where he trusts me more with, like, cans and audibles, whatever y'all want to call it. Like, those are the things that get us out of a bad look into a better play. And we talk before games on things I like, things I don't like, and he does a great job of just opening up the conversation with that. And I appreciate him for even doing that. So, and it's been great to get to work with him, and I'm really excited for the future with us.
CJ, you talk about growth. And one of the things seems like you're such a young team, but you guys learn from your mistakes. A lot of times.
CJ, learning from mistakes.
And I was asking Will Anderson about that. Will said, it's a mindset we have. Was that from the coaches? You guys are just winners. You have that. I mean, that's one of the reasons you guys have grown is you don't make the mistakes.
Yeah, I mean, I can't talk for anybody else, but I know for us, me and the Texans, it's not about what the outside world thinks or anything. Like Will says, it's really all it is, a mindset. It's a willing, like unforgivable, accountable, it's a lot of things that like kind of like make into our culture of what DeMeco calls is like swarm. And for us, that's what we bought into. And, I mean, you look at where we come from, like a lot of the younger players on this team, we come from winning programs in college, and And that definitely has to do with that, So, and that's something like for myself, I pride myself in not making a mistake twice, or at least trying not to. And that's something that I'll try to do for the rest of my life, even off the field and on, So it's been cool to kind of see the progress that we've made, being that we're a younger team or whatever you want to call it. So
Quote marks.
we've been able to put some things together, but some things that we have to clean up for
Hey, no
sure.
quote
And
marks.
we have
Y'all
a lot
young.
of veterans that help as well, like Sheldon Rankins, Malik, LT, George, Shaq, like a lot of guys in this often Dalton, like, all our whole team has played meaningful football before, So it's not just the young guys; it's a lot of older guys holding us under guys accountable, and we're doing the same things with them. So.
By the way, Dalton Schultz back in practice, so he could have Dalton Schultz, which would be big. You're watching C.J. Stroud, so Garrett Wilson on the other side. By the way, lining up damn near half the time in the slot, so that might be something to keep an eye on if the Jets decide to do that. This was Cody Stoots. This was actually a conversation we had. C.J. Stroud, after his first year at Ohio State, throwing at Pro Day to Chris Olave and Garrett Wilson, and just the pressure of trying to get Garrett Wilson to show out so he could get drafted.
Those guys look really good. Can you walk me through kind of what that was being in front of NFL scouts, before you were headed to the NFL and having sort of you be relied upon for those guys on their pro day?
Yeah, it was a long time ago. I mean, I wasn't really nervous. I was like,
Yeah,
because I've thrown with Chris
you were
and Garrett
nervous.
so many times. I don't know if I said that. I don't remember, but I remember kind of just like don't mess us up for them, kind of like show the teams what they can do, also show them what you can do. It's kind of how I approached it. Coach Day had that same mindset. He put us through the workout, put me through the workout, and helped me with like the footwork and timing things up. So he did a great job with that. But for me, I just really wanted to not only showcase Garrett and Chris, but me, myself, Jackson was also doing the pro day, I think, that day. We had a couple tight ends, like Kay was there, I think. But, you want to just show off for your brothers and also for myself. I don't really remember totally, but, yeah, I tried to do my best. But I wasn't really nervous, I don't think.
DJ, James.
A little bit, maybe, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
This CJ on the Jets offense, DJ's getting his smarts out.
Once you turn on the film, like you can see the mistakes being made from, like you said, off schedule, like kind of just doing too much in a sense of not playing within the system. And for us, like that's the beauty of our offense is like playing on timing and stuff. So that's been like today that was a big focus for us and things like that. And also like when there, like you said, when there is times to extend things, that's what I'll have to do, and be smart with the football, keep two hands on the ball. Those guys rush really well. They rush as a unit. And then they also, they take away the first read a lot. So I got to be good on getting to 2, 3, 4, 5, checking the ball down when I need to really fast because that rush, they'll get there, So that's something that I have to be on my A game when it comes to those type of timing and progressions and, escaping when I need to, only when I need to, just to make the game make sense, I think sometimes as quarterbacks we think about stuff too much or we try to make somebody miss when you shouldn't. And there's a lot of things that you can do to make self-inflicted wounds, and I'll try my best not to do that on Sunday.
Chance and coach.
TJ, in general, it's pretty rare for a rookie QB-led team to be in the playoff hunt. For you, what is it like that the team is right there and every play and every game matters at this point? And how much pride do you take knowing that?
This great Chancellor Johnson asking about being in a playoff hunt at such a young age.
Yeah, I think it's amazing the games we've been able to win down, especially in the stretch of those 4-quarter games. And that kind of just shows how tough of a team we can be and who we are. We're resilient, and we're going to keep proving that. And for me, it's not just focused on me, I definitely I take full responsibility of being the leader. But the first thing I remember coming in the building, I was talking to a couple of vets. I was talking to Jerry and JG, and the first thing they were like, man, you're not in this on your own. We're right there with you. We hold ourselves to the same standard you do. We're right there. So that's something takes a lot of pressure off my back, and even though I put that pressure right back on, just me being my hardest critic, it also helps me relax, understand I can go be aggressive, and like Bobby says, have controlled aggression. whenever I need to be smart, you know. So knowing that the defense is going to go out there and get a stop, like regardless of the situation on offense, is a really good feeling. So got to keep going with that, and really these are the most beautiful games of the year after Thanksgiving and going into December and January, you know. So we've gone off to a good start, and we got to keep that rolling.
What do you remember about some of your first impressions of Nico Collins?
This is the first impressions of Nico Collins. He's going to have to step up without Tank Dell.
It's been a blessing, man. Nico is not only a great person, but he's a hard worker. He's somebody who comes in with like a worker's man mentality. He's gonna do the dirty work. And one thing about him, like I don't know if it pops up on film. I know it does because we watch it, but he blocks his tail off. Like he frees our backs up a lot. When other guys have the ball, he blocks it really well, and that's something I think they do as a whole in the receiver room. But that just shows you how unselfish it for a number one receiver to have to like do the dirty work, you know. And a lot of places in the league, you don't really see that, you know. So Nico is a great route runner, great at the point of catch, and he's stepped into a role that I've challenged him on being a leader and things like that, and done a great job with that. So I'm excited to see his future and be there with him, and I'm really happy for him, and that's my brother, and I love him.
All right, there you go. It's CJ Stroud talking about Nico Collins. We'll hear from DeMeco in a sec. I just think this game's getting really weird. So you have a team that is dependent on the pass going against a really good pass defense. That team has also lost a wide receiver who I think was 10th in Pro Bowl voting in Tank Dell, 7 touchdowns. So naturally, what you rely on, what some would say that you're overly dependent on, you're already losing something and having to fill a void there. You're also going on the road. There's going to be cold weather. It's New York, all that. I don't know how packed it's going to be or how rowdy they're going to be. So you have that, and you also have the money going from 6.5 to 4. Also, Nico Collins, he's been great. He's having a Pro Bowl season. His first catch, he's probably going to surpass 1,000 yards. He's 9 yards away from that. But Nico Collins, the one thing I do wonder about him is how are they going to attack him now? You don't have to worry about Tank Dell on the other side. So what more is Nico going to have to do? That's something to just wonder and maybe keep in mind. Let's hear from DeMeco Ryans. He's going to talk about Nico.
Just getting here, I always seen Nico, right, just as a huge target, right? Guy was very athletic, huge target, huge catch radius, and a guy who can make plays down the field, right? And just being here and being around him, just seeing, right, just his spirit. Nico has a really good spirit about him. He's a really, really good young man. I mean, his work ethic, it sticks out. It's probably second to none. Like, he has tremendous work ethic, and I've seen him just build confidence, right, over time. He's continued to show up to work every day with the right mindset, attacks it relentlessly, and his production is showing up on the field from the work that he's putting in. So, Nico, I mean, another guy that I'm very, very proud of, right? Just to see him shining, he deserves it because he's put the work in.
The Jets have been really good against the pass this year. What have you seen from
Yeah, this is the pass defense thing. Good job to Chris.
The Jets' success in the pass game, it comes from them, first off, being sound. In the back end, they'll eliminate the explosives, right? They'll make sure they're on top and not giving up any, deep passes there. And then they really let their front cut it loose, right? They do a really good job of rushing. All right, 4 guys rushing together, getting after the quarterback, and they'll roll those guys. It's going to be a relentless rush, and we have our hands full with their front 4, and that's the strength of their team.
On the back end, I mean, they have 3 really good corners in Sauce, DJ Reed, Michael Carter, and Stroud. What type of challenges will they provide for? What type of challenges will it be to go against a secondary that has corners?
Yeah, the challenges with their secondary is they're going to be exactly where they're supposed to be, right? They play smart, right? They know where they're supposed to be, and there's not many mistakes. And that's the thing that shows up with them. Everything that we get offensively, we're going to have to earn it. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be a grimy game. It's going to be, nasty weather. It's going to be a physical battle. It's going to be a grimy game for both sides, right? Everything that anybody gets in this game is going to be earned.
All right, there you go. That's DeMeco Ryans. Weird stuff going on. The pass defense versus the Texans dependent on the pass without Tank Dell going to be something to keep an eye on. Also, always follow that money. Subscribe, like, ride along. How you feeling? You feeling confident? You feeling nervous? Do you feel like something's going crazy? I've been known of being someone who kind of looks a little bit too much into certain things like this. It is the Locker Room, #1 source for Texans daily digital content. Going to be live at Army Navy tomorrow for the show. Also going to have a video on the Jets, and I'll be in New York on Sunday on the sidelines at Texans Jets, the day after being on the sidelines at Army Navy. So be sure to ride along, subscribe. Remember, when it comes to this Texan stuff, we're all in it together.
Opinions to give, we got takeaways. If it's up, then it's up. We #1. You don't need to try your luck. Locker room, yeah, we in.